Hi everyone. I wanted to do a little video today about just a short introduction because this is a big subject. Why it is that we focus a lot on the third eye center when we're practicing yoga and meditation. And what are the benefits of that? Why is it so important? So in case you're new to yoga, I know some of you have studied yoga a bit more in depth and may already know about this, but the yogis understand us more than just the physical body. Now we have deeper levels of who we are, and um, ultimately within our physical body there is an energy body. It's like the electrical network of energy flowing through us, and you may have heard of the words nadis or meridians. We're probably more familiar with the word meridian. They're like little energy channels that flow throughout the entire body. That's Meridian is the Chinese word, and in Sanskrit they're called nadis. And nadis literally means rivers, like little conduits of energy that carry this energy through the body. And then when we have blockages in the energy, that's when we start to get physical symptoms or disease or imbalances. And all these thousands of little energy conduits or nadis, rivers, flow through the body, and then they conjugate, they come together at certain major networks, kind of like the roundabout when you've got the roads that meet at one major circuit. These energy vessels, they meet at certain major energy centers, and they are called chakras. And the chakras run along one of the main energy conduits through our body is called the Sushumna Nadi, and that is where we find the seven along that Sushumna Nadi, which flows from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. We find the seven chakras, and these chakras are like plexuses where a lot of these energy channels meet. It's a big subject, chakras. There are many books you could read about these, but the whole purpose of doing our yoga practice is to not only keep our back strong and flexibility, but to recharge and keep in balance these energy centers through our energy network, these chakras, and to keep a free flow of energy flowing, and to keep these chakra centers in balance. Because you can have a weakness in a chakra or too much energy in a chakra, and they all create certain health problems. So what we want to do is keep our chakras in balance. So when we're going through our asana practice, we are doing physical stretches, but we're also systematically going through the energy centers. This is why we start with the headstand, and then we work on the throat in the shoulder stand, and the fish with the heart chakra in the fish, the solar plexus also when we're doing forward bends. So we're systematically working through energizing these energy centers through the body when we are doing our regular yoga practice. And a lot of the breathing practices are also to help clean these energy channels, like the alternate nostril breathing, Anuloma Viloma. One of the main benefits is to keep these channels clean so that energy can flow. So there's lots of subtle benefits of yoga that we might be new to, which are really important to understand and to inspire us to practice yoga more, to keep ourselves strong and healthy, because our physical strength is very much dependent on the balance of these chakras. Not just physical, but mental. Our mental, physical strength is really much dependent on the balance of these chakras. So just a few minutes on Ajna Chakra. So Ajna Chakra is the third eye. You know, we often think, if someone says how many eyes you've got, normally we say we've got 2 eyes. But actually in yoga and in many spiritual traditions, they say we have 3 eyes, and it's often called, the third eye is often called the eye of intuition. And it's situated between the eyebrows, just slightly back. If you wanted to sense it from within, it's sort of just up between the eyebrows but slightly inwards. There's an energy center there, and it's situated in this head region because it has also the balance of the Ajna Chakra has a big impact on our mental health. And also it's considered the point where the two sides of the brain meet together. So you can kind of visualize like your two sides of your brain meeting together, and that point is like that central point. And also in yoga we say two of the other main channels of the body, the Pingala and Ida nadis that run parallel with Sushumna, they also meet at this third eye point. So it's a really major point. They say, it's often said that keeping Ajna Chakra in balance helps all the other chakras in the body to stay in harmony. Okay, and because most of our main endocrine glands are situated behind the main chakras, by keeping Ajna Chakra in balance, if that keeps all the other chakras in a good balance, also that means also our endocrine system will stay more in harmony, which is really good for our overall health. So why do we focus a lot on Ajna Chakra? So Ajna Chakra, it's often called, as we said, the third eye or the eye of intuition, and that's really, really important. Like, it's sometimes called the sixth sense. Like, developing intuition is really important because your intuition is like that voice inside of you. Sometimes you say also feel it in the gut. It's like that gut feeling or that sense of where you might need to be in a certain time, or a sense of, say you're with someone and you get this sense of them and you kind of feel them on a deeper level. It's like your intuition is guiding you about that person, maybe how you feel, or if they're saying a certain information and you're thinking intuitively, maybe this isn't right or this is right. It's sort of your inner guide that guides you to feel what you think is true and what you think is like you're really sensing a situation fully using your intuition or your higher eye, your third eye. Another way to say when the third eye is kind of active and quite in balance, we are naturally drawn to the right places at the right time, or to the right people at the right time. It's like our inner eye or our inner wisdom is guiding us into those situations or away from situations that could possibly create problems for us. It's like our inner guide. And the more we can keep our intuition sort of healthy, we're gonna stay protected. We're gonna stay we're going to attract good things into our life and sort of move away from things that may create problems. Another example, like you're driving around and your intuition suddenly guides you to go a different way to what you'd normally go. It's like you're just guided to that, and that, in the way that you normally go, there may have been a problem there, and your intuition could have guided you away from that situation. Or meeting a person at a certain time, there's like an inner voice that says, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do this instead, and there may be a reason for that to protect you or to guide you in the right place for your own well-being. So it's really important to keep our intuition alive. It's like our sixth sense. Simply said, it guides us in a way to be in the best place that is good for us right now, and to help us get a deeper sense, a truer sense of a situation, whether that's when we're with a person or in a place. We kind of feel what is deeply right about that situation, or if there's something wrong that we might need to move ourselves away from, or we might need to go a situation we might want to go towards more. So it's our inner guide. I hope I explained that well. This is our higher intuition. Okay, and sometimes if our intuition is blocked, we end up not really having that voice to guide us, and end up problems coming into our life or with different people because there wasn't that voice to guide us. So it's a subtle inner voice that guides us for our own well-being. And we need to awaken that. There's many things that can dampen our intuition. For example, the food we eat, when we're eating quite a toxic diet, a lot of meat or pollutions in foods. There is a lot of pollution also in our water, fluoride in the water. They say that can also suppress the third eye. It's sort of, there's like a calcification that can come over the third eye. Also being on computers too much, in front, around electromagnetic fields that can also create a certain calcification of the third eye. So in yoga, we often really focus on this, our eye of intuition that we want to develop. And one more thing, because this is a big subject, could talk a long time, but one thing I wanted to say while we're focusing on the third eye, in Sanskrit, the third eye is called Ajna, Ajna. So anything in Sanskrit that has the word A in front, it means kind of not this. I'll give you an example. You may have heard of the word ashram. So an ashram is like a place, a community, a yoga retreat center that you might go to for a yoga retreat, an ashram. You may have heard of that word ashram. If you look it up, you'll see ashrams. It's all places where people come together to do yoga, spiritual practice, meditation. So the word shram very simply means like chaos. And then ashram means they're no chaos or away from chaos. So we go to these places like yoga centers, meditation retreat centers, to move away from the chaos, or to reduce that inner chaos and to find a sense of peace through practices like yoga and meditation. And another word is ahimsa. So himsa in Sanskrit means violence. One of the main precepts of yoga philosophy is ahimsa. We try to do actions that don't create violence towards or aggressiveness or anything that harms ourselves and others. We try to practice ahimsa, non-violence. So coming back to ajna, so nya, Jni, is the stem of a word which means wisdom, jnana. So what does that mean? Ajna, it means away from wisdom or no wisdom. So what does that mean? I've just told you that if we're focusing on our third eye, we're developing intuition. But what this means that often we think we get most of our wisdom through the senses and through our conscious mind. We think that is where all our wisdom and information comes from. And we do receive a lot of information from the world around us, from the senses, everything we're taking in and seeing. And this is kind of all these thoughts, the information we're taking in daily, it is in our conscious mind. But in yoga, we say that there's a deeper level of mind that we can tap into by sort of calming these thoughts and these activities and the activities from our day. When we still the mind, the conscious mind, we can tap a deeper level of mind, which is sometimes called the universal mind. Okay? And it's a universal mind, which is that, or sometimes called the conscious field, that quantum field. It's like a universal intelligence that helps us understand that we're not just an individual with just our own life. We're all connected deeply through this universal mind, and that everything in this universe has a connection with each other. It's like a matrix that connects everything with each other. And the yogis, that's one of the deepest essence of yoga philosophy. We understand that the more we're just with individual self, we feel a sense of separation. Okay, but if we can quieten all this story that's in our head about our individual lives, our individual problems, this individuality, if we can just bring that to a stillness, which is what we're doing in practices like meditation and breathing techniques, if that conscious mind, those thoughts come to a stillness, we can tap into that universal mind, which is where we experience unity and a deeper level of wisdom and connection with everything around us, which is one of the experiences you hear about from yogis, long-term practitioners of yogis or advanced teachers. There's like a universal connection, and that is really true wisdom. Understanding that we're not just a separate, that we're actually all interrelated and interconnected with everything around us. And if we understand that, we want to help others. We want to support our community, our friends, our family, even people that challenge us. If we understand that ultimately there's an essence that connects us all, and our deepest essence is is the same in each person, that universal quantum field, there's a natural sense of compassion and connectedness and unity, which is really what the word yoga means. It means union. It means coming out of this individual sense of existence to a sense of a unity between all existence. Yoga, it means a union. So when we're focusing on the third eye, which is in that kind of area where we kind of think where the mind is, we're actually trying to quieten the conscious mind. We're focusing there, we're bringing a stillness, and we're quietening that mind so we can tap into that universal mind. You know, in some traditions, they call it the Tao, Tao, or that quantum field, or our inner essence. So I wanted to read you just a couple of words to explain what we've just talked about. The Ajna, no wisdom, moving out of that sort of ignorance of the individuality that we create through our thinking mind, stilling that part of ourselves to connect to that unifying essence, part of the quantum field, the universal mind. As man is a mental being, he naturally imagines that mind is the one great leader and an indispensable agent in the universe. But mind is not the greatest possible power of consciousness, and not the instrument of truth and knowledge. To rise to higher levels of consciousness awareness, the mind has to be stilled, has to be silent, thought-free and immobile. Sri Aurobindo, one of the great masters of yoga, has said that when the mind is still, then truth gets her chance to be heard in the purity of silence. Truth cannot be attained by the mind's thinking, but only by identity and silent vision. So that's a simple introduction to Ajna Chakra. It's a big subject. There's a lot more information I could talk about, but imagine it is your third eye, your eye of intuition that guides you into the best place for to stay well and protected, to understand really the deeper picture of things in a situation, and also to, by stilling our mind, how we can tap into that universal field that connects us all, which is really what yoga is about. You know, we often think yoga is for back pain and flexibility, and it is definitely for that, and it's a really important part of yoga. But ultimately, it's about understanding that we're all connected and we're all brothers and sisters on this earth, and that the highest religion is the religion of love. Not love for everyone, despite their colour, their country, where they come from, whether they're man or woman, whether they're black or white. It's knowing that we're all connected, we're all part of that same field. We all have our own uniqueness and flair, which is wonderful, but there's a deeper essence that connects us all. Sometimes that's called the spirit level, the quantum field, that universal mind, that universal consciousness. Okay, a very simple technique we can use to energize and open Ajna Chakra is by taking our awareness there, focusing on that point. Think about the mind stilling and coming to sensing a white light that is bright and shining from that point. And another important technique is chanting Om. So Om is one of the mantras used, or the main mantra used, for the third eye. So as we focus on our third eye, we really simply chant Om mentally, or you could even chant it out loud to start with, and then take the sound internally. And think about your individual mind stilling, like we're going into a deep sleep where we're losing that sense of individuality and merging with our higher self, where we can access true wisdom, truth, and light. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about Ajna Chakra. It is a big topic, but that was a little introduction. So maybe when you're practicing your yoga and meditation, you could think about, the benefits of it, and to help you enhance the reasons why we're doing our practice. So stay well and stay happy, stay strong, keep that third eye awake, your intuition, and an understanding that we're all connected, we're all brothers and sisters on this earth. Namaste.